Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, I'm so happy to have you back with me today because we have something very, very important to talk about. Last episode, we left things off at this critical point where we were talking about how sometimes we can find ourselves in these situations where we feel stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, those times in our life when it's like, okay, I can either go this way or that way, but whether I go this way or that way, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. And so it's like, even though I can go this way or that way, it's not a meaningful choice. And when the choices that we have available don't feel like they're meaningful choices, so we are effectively feeling forced to act one way or the other, and we don't want to act in either of those ways, it, leaves us feeling really out of control. Leaves us feeling powerless. And this need for power and control in our lives is such a core, essential human need that if it's not being met, it triggers our internal alarm bells, the internal system, which is like experienced by us in the context of like a lot of negative feelings. So it could be, my need for power and control is not being met. So stress. I feel stressed. I feel angry maybe because my need for power and control is not being met. I may feel really afraid because my need for power and control is not being met. And it's scary to be out of control. So you can have all of these kinds of really strong negative reactions. And if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling angry or whatever your particular experience is, where's the inner peace? Where's the contentment? Where's the joy? The thing is that you cannot be feeling afraid and peaceful at the same time. You cannot be feeling afraid, or stressed out and at peace at the same time. You cannot be feeling angry or jealous or, whatever it is that's leading you to feel out of control and be feeling at peace and happiness and joy and contentment at the same time. You just cannot experience these kinds of negative and positive emotions at the same time. So, look, this is the Survivor to Thriver show. This show is all about how do we stop suffering and how do we start living with inner peace and joy. So I'm telling you right now, if your need for power and control in your life is not being met, you will not be able to experience the kind of inner peace and joy you want in your life. You're really going to struggle with it. It's just the way that our system works. Okay, and there's nothing that we can really do about the way the system works. In fact, you shouldn't even want to do anything about the way the system works because guess what? Those negative feelings that are acting as alarm bells, guess what? That's a really important function. You want your alarm bells to exist and you want them to be working. You want to know when there's something wrong, when you may be headed in the wrong direction, when there may be a core essential need that you have that's not being met. You want to know when that's happening. And it is those negative feelings that are letting you know that. So you don't want to don't even think about wanting them to disappear and go away or to be disabled within your system. That's just not wise, okay? It'll have a lot of unintended consequences that you do not want in your life. So whenever you do have the negative feelings, you want to honor them, right? You want to listen to them. You want to understand what they're trying to tell you about what's the need that's not being met, and then take action to meet that need. When you take action to meet that need and your actions are effective in helping you meet that need, those feelings naturally become resolved. And then you begin to experience the positive emotions of inner peace, joy, happiness, contentment, fulfillment, which are the signals from our internal system that are saying, good job, you're headed in the right direction. Keep going this way. Do more of this. This is working, this is good, this is what we want. Okay? So, now, in the context of meeting this need for power and control that we have, one of the first things to understand is that, look, there are many different ways in which we can meet our need for power and control. But some ways of meeting this need, or I should say, yes, there are different ways in which you can meet the need. And there are also different ways in which you can experience a sense of power and control in your life. All right. Now, when it comes to the different ways in which you can experience a sense of power and control in your life, some ways are better than others. Better in the context of they're better at helping you meet the need for power and control in the ways that you need to meet they're better at helping you meet the need for power and control in the ways that you need to meet it. So, for example, there are certain ways that may be important, but they may not be sufficient because they don't get to the core of the issue enough. So, for example, a lot of us spend a lot of our time and energy and focus on trying to achieve control over our money experiences, right? It's like we think, okay, if I have enough money, if I feel in control of my money, then that's really, really important. I'll solve all kinds of problems in my life and I'll be happy. But how many people do you know who have control over their money? They have lots of it, and they have lots of not only money like sitting in a stagnant pool, but they're constantly getting more and more money. And they're in control of it. So like, even though, the economy may go up or down or, whatever, they're fine. They still have plenty of money in their life. And they're able to control their financial wellness. There are people, like a lot of us are struggling with that, but there are people out there who have that kind of control over their money as well, right? But how many of those people who have this kind of control over their money and they're still not happy? They're still not at peace. Why? Because even though having control of our financial wellness is an important thing, it's an important way in which we may need to be in control of our lives and of our wellness, when we're living in the context of modern civilization in the cities and so forth, it's just not enough. It doesn't go deep enough in the context. It doesn't address our need for power and control deeply enough for it to be sufficient to produce that sense of inner peace and joy and contentment. So you can have control at the level of your money and your finances, and it's still just not sufficient. It doesn't go deep enough. That level of control over your life is not sufficient. It's not deep enough. But there is a way to feel in control that is deep enough, that it's sufficient. It's not only necessary, it is absolutely necessary. But not only is it necessary, it can be sufficient. So if you can feel in control of your life, of your wellness, in this particular way, it'll be enough to help you maintain your sense of inner peace and joy and happiness and contentment and fulfillment. What is that way? What is this level at which you really, really need to experience control over your life and wellness? This way is to be in control of your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior, your beliefs. Remember that causal chain I was talking to you about a few episodes ago? That causal chain that starts from our beliefs. Our beliefs lead to our thoughts lead to our emotions lead to our behaviors. And then I added, this is something that I add on, say our behaviors contribute to our results, generate our results. So if and when you feel in control of what you think, what you believe, how you feel, and what you do, that level of control at that level of your being is both necessary and sufficient to meet your need for power and control over your own life, and for you to be able to maintain your inner peace and joy and happiness and contentment and fulfillment. If you can think of any situation in your life where you think you cannot be in control of your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior, challenge that thinking, challenge that assumption. Challenge those feelings. This is the time, this is the situation in which you need to challenge those beliefs, those thoughts, those assumptions, those feelings with courageous action. Just think of any situation where you're feeling out of control. And be like, okay, all right. If it were true, just take it like it's a game. like you're going to do an experiment, a life experiment, and you say, okay, right now I'm feeling out of control in this particular situation. But if it were true that I always get to control my beliefs, my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions, and if I'm feeling in control of my beliefs, my thoughts, my feelings, and actions, then I can come back to restore and maintain my inner peace and joy and happiness and contentment and fulfillment. Then how can I do that right now? What can I shift about the way that I'm thinking and the way that I'm feeling and the way that I'm behaving so that I begin to feel more in control? Or another way to look at it would be, okay, think of the scenario and be like, okay, if I was in control of the situation, how would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? How would I be behaving if I was in control? Just imagine that. Okay, and so once you have a sense of clarity around what that would look like, then go and do it. Then go and act like that. Generate those emotional experiences, generate and practice thinking those thoughts, practice behaving in those ways. We call this coming from your vision. Rather than chasing after your vision, you come from your vision. You behave as if what you wanted is already true. You come from your vision. And then just sit back and observe what a difference that makes in your life, how that transforms your life, how that transforms your internal experience and your outer results. So I'm going to leave you with this homework. And I'm going to tell you, if you find yourself struggling with this, please don't struggle with it on your own. I'm here, so please connect with me. You know how to do that, right? Go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com. Click on the Contact Us tab, and you will see different options for how you can connect with me. Samia Bano. That's me, your happiness expert. Connect with me and let me help you. I can tell you there's no problem that doesn't have a solution. And a solution at that is a win-win solution, a solution that allows you to maintain your sense of power and control, that allows you to experience the kind of inner peace and joy and happiness and contentment and fulfillment that you seek and that you desire and that you deserve in your life, no matter the circumstance. And I mean that, no matter the circumstance. So if you cannot see that for yourself, allow me to help you see that. Contact me. So until I connect with you next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.